Hey guys, it is Wednesday with Chasey Poo, and today is our 300th week. 300th week, which 300th week. Somebody that I know was TAing for a course, and the student wrote October 3rd instead of 3rd. So whatever. Anyway, it's a 300th episode. Whatever. This is huge. It's huge because I've been on the channel since the beginning, which means there are over 300 videos of me on this channel. I say that they're over because I've done like promos and stuff like that and like, oh look, new members, so blah blah. But I have been on, there's 300 videos on this channel of me. This is crazy, you can find them all. Wow. Okay, so who cares about that? It's not about me, it's about you right now. This week we're talking about transitioning at an early age and could we have, would we want, blah, blah. So this is one of those topics where I'm like, ugh, I wish that I could have transitioned earlier because I feel like I missed out on so much of my childhood as a boy, and I feel like there are so many things that I could have done differently, and I would have been raised differently, and I would be somewhere else in my life, and then I think, the fuck, no, I don't want that. It would be so cool to be able to transition at an early age and go on hormone blockers and then go on hormones and never have to ever go through female puberty. Like, fuck, that would be awesome. But I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be making these videos. I wouldn't be on YouTube. I probably wouldn't have these lovely cats. Like, not that I'm saying I would have been socialized different and more like, quote unquote, masculine and shit like that, but I probably would have ended up the same way that I am now, but I would not be here. I feel like I can't tell you what my life would have been like. I can't tell you if I would be queer, and I'm not saying that like it's because the way that I'm socialized or anything like that, but maybe I wouldn't figure it out for a while. Although my dad's very like, whatever, I'd probably be here, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. If I transition at a younger age now, knowing that there's a huge community, I'd probably be here now, you know what I'm saying? But if I transitioned when I was actually younger in the 90s, and there was like no trans community that anybody ever knew of, then it would be like, I don't know if I would be super stealth. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I would be super stealth. Who knows? I have no idea. It's not something I like to think about because it gives me anxiety, but for the people who are able to transition at a younger age, fantastic. People who are able to go on hormone blockers and people who are able to go on testosterone earlier on and they don't need top surgery. And I do know someone who got top surgery at 16 and they just got their phalloplasty, and I believe that they are 18. That's fucking huge. That is awesome. This person, not that I'm saying you don't live your life before any of these surgeries and stuff like that, but this person just gets to like live their life and not have to worry about this stuff. And like, especially surgery, if you're really thinking about it and you can't afford it, you have to think about it for a long time, and it sucks. And these are the things that you don't really want to have to think about, but you have to, and it sucks. But I mean, that's just how I think. I don't know. What do you think? How are you feeling about this? I think it's fantastic that we have a quote-unquote role model like Jazz, okay? Yes, I'm pulling out this card. When I was younger, I tried to find videos on trans people. The only one in the news or whatever was on YouTube, and it was the interview that Jazz did with like Barbara Walters or something. That to me was like, wow, you have to know if you're super young, or you have to know when you're super old. So I didn't know you could transition at 15, but the point is that the fact that Jazz has become such like an international sensation, where she has a show on TLC now called I Am Jazz, which I watch, and it's good. It just kind of shows about her life. Sometimes it's like, okay, we get it, but I think it's really cool that you get to see someone transition at such a young age, because she's 15 or 16, whatever, but she transitioned when she was like 3, and she's been on hormone blockers and on estrogen, and it's interesting because I always think like, oh, I wish I could have transitioned earlier, I wouldn't have to deal with any of this stuff. But then you watch I Am Jazz and you're like, wow, not that she's going through the same stuff that I am, because, you know, trans woman and trans man, different, but it's interesting to see that even if you transition earlier, even though that happens and you have like your whole life ahead of you and all this stuff, there's still some things that you think about that are not like insecurities but dysphoria, which you would think that you shouldn't have dysphoria on that because you were able to transition at a young age. So we're all over the place on this, right? These are just like assumptions that we're making, but honestly I think having Jazz out there is fantastic. She is a really great spokesperson for this community, in my opinion. She's very weird if you watch her show, which is really cool because, I don't know, she's human. It kind of humanizes the trans experience, and I feel like the more people know that trans people exist, even just Caitlyn Jenner, you know somebody exists. I feel like it humanizes the trans experience, especially I Am Jazz, because Jazz was just like a kid growing up, like not famous, none of her family is famous, nothing like that. So I think that showing her life, like, oh look, she's training for like one of these, like, not Spartan, rugged monster, whatever, one of these fucking obstacle courses, and she has trans friends and she's trying to meet people and she's talking about boys. Like, these are just experiences that all teenage girls go through, and the fact that people are watching this on TLC, they're like, oh, this is just like a normal kid. I hate using that word, but just, you know, people who are just like, oh, transphobic. Anyways, so that's my like whole, I think that I Am Jazz and Jazz in general. If you don't know who Jazz is, oh my god, please Google it. My point is, I think it's really great that she's there. She's there for us. Anyways, I've also met her. She's fantastic. She's really funny. And she's very like, she's a typical fucking teenage girl. Like, what can I say? Literally, like, that's how she's raised. That's how she is. That's who she is. Anyways, have a great week. Let us know what you think. If you have any topic suggestions, write them us on Twitter. Probably the easiest way for a Tumblr. If you have any questions, let us know. And yay, 300th episode. Let's go on for 300 more. Yeah? Have a great week. Bye.